And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode. Yes, we are probably going to get this slate all reviewed way even before all the final Friday practices happen. Plenty of news still with the wide receiver, running back, and there's a bit of news at the tight end position that we need to go over. Welcome to another episode of Grade A Fantasy as we go over the top plays at the tight end position for the Week 4 FanDuel main slate. Let's start at the top as we normally do. Brock Bowers 67, Travis Kelce 61. That Baltimore defense can't, even though that KC offense is pretty ugly, Kelce is an option and he's not too expensive. Going against a very somewhat porous Baltimore defense. Bowers is in a pretty much high scoring game, potentially high scoring game against Chicago. So he will be an option there and he's not as expensive as he has been in the past couple of weeks at 67. But as we go down, we're gonna go straight to 5,800. Like I said, the theme of this year so far in the first 3 weeks, paid down at tight end. So Tyler Warren at 58. You still got my man Juwan Johnson at 57. All reliable in 3 weeks, hasn't had no less than 8 targets in the game. So we'll still go there. Kincaid's an option in a possible blowout, but a risky one. I like Hunter Henry. I just don't think I'll be a little light on him because when it comes to as random as the tight end position is, even though he is in kind of a good matchup, I think that'll be more point chasing, but I will have Hunter Henry in a good match against Carolina. The thing with Cleveland now, after they kind of started in reverse, now it seems like both Njoku and Harold Fannin are getting the similar amount of targets now, so either one is at risk of, cannibalizing the other. But Fanning's at 48 while Njoku's still in the low fives at 54. Questionable with a knee injury, but trending to play. But obviously, if he's out, Fanning's probably the top play. You do have, got it against Tampa Bay. Good old Zach Ertz, especially Ertz looks a whole lot better if Jaden Daniels obviously gets back in there. He's at an even 5. One of my favorite plays, obviously, I'll post the board because, like I said, I don't think you put Chris Godwin in the first game 100% go. Jaden McMillan is still out. Jaden McMillan with the neck injury, when he got backflipped and landed on his head and strained his neck, he's not coming back to week 9. It's still not official that Godwin makes it back. But even if he does, he'll be limited. You still got Sterling Shepard. Mike Evans is doubtful. Damn doubtful. He's not going to play. He'll be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Cade Otton has to get involved. It's a war of attrition right now at the wide receiver position, so they need Cade Otton. Cade Otton did the same thing last year when there was a time that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin was out. He hasn't done much yet, but Cade Otton is definitely one of my favorite paydowns at 4,900. We already spoke about Harold Fanning. Now, here's something very interesting that I want to talk about. So, Jatavion Sanders is pretty much doubtful, high knee sprain. He just hasn't been ruled out yet. All the tight end snaps will basically pretty much go to Tommy Tremble. He's normally the guy that's mainly meant for, catching the ball. And Tommy Tremble is known as the blocker. But in this case, Tommy Tremble is going to get all the snaps. If you're looking for that, contrarian pick who kind of has a high upside, Tremble 4,400 at New England. Not the best against the tight end. I like that as a, contrarian pick. And then you see right on top of Tommy Tremble, the veteran Will Dissly. If he is out, then we can without a doubt look for my man right here. I am not talking about him because I've probably heard him on other shows. Aronde Gadsden is somebody that I've spoken about highly ever since the Chargers were in the Hall of Fame game. He has done amazing things. The new youth movement with these wide receivers and tight ends that they've had either for this year's draft, last year's draft, and people like Quentin Johnson 2-3 years ago have finally come to fruition. especially with somebody like Keenan Allen leading the way as the veteran. Oronde Gadsden, if he is not, if Will Disley gets ruled out, automatically you saw what you can get right here. Because when he left that game early, he definitely got some targets. Oronde Gadsden, big athletic body, can get some inside the 5-10 red zone looks, goal line looks. It's a great matchup against the Giants. I will love Oronde Gadsden at the flat 4 at tight end. But since it's not clear yet, let's just break it down how I like the tight ends. So once again, I kind of like Kelsey because, like I said, even though that should be a tough and ugly game, and it does have a decent total, but I think Bowers and Kelsey both have good matchups. Like I said, Baltimore's defense still has a lot to think about. It doesn't take too much to get into the 5,000 range. So, like I said, Tyler Warren, Juwan Johnson. And then, like I said, you guys got Hunter Henry. And then right now, before anything becomes official, the pay down options, Hunter Henry 55 still. The pay down options are pretty much either one of the Cleveland tight ends. Zach Ertz, obviously. And then, like I said, I'm still gonna go at the Cade Otton thing or whatever. Not heavy, obviously, because he can easily give you one of these kind of games. But now Mike Evans is gone, so he has to be able to give you something. Yeah, definitely with 4,900. He's basically a point per dollar kind of player. You're just hoping he can at least maybe get an end zone look, or maybe because with no Evans and Chris Godwin, and then like I said, Mbuka's there, but like I said, I don't see them giving Chris Godwin a lot of snaps. They'll be working him in, and then hopefully Mbuka stays healthy, and then within 3 to 4 weeks, you get Mike Evans by like late October, and then the Buccaneers will be a full-fledged offense. But like I said, Otton is an option because they also throw to Bucky and Rashad. There's a possibility Rashad White might get some motion out the backfield or be lining up in the slot. But with injuries, Tremble 4,400, I definitely like that because, like I said, Jatavion Sanders, he's somebody that I've mentioned a couple of times, is out. So I definitely like Tremble this week. It's a good matchup. And hey, McMillan is on the injury report. Let's see what happens with that. But like I said, without a doubt, he will be, because of his athleticism, I've been scouting him since preseason. Chargers did the Chargers in the Hall of Fame game. Without a doubt, look out for Oronde Gadsden flat 4 minimum. But of course, we have to wait on the injury report. We'll see by Friday. But that is the end of the tight end preview and top play selection. Thank you for tuning in. Defensive show will be out later tonight, and that'll be the end. Good luck this week. Interesting week. Got a lot of figuring out to do, so probably a little bit more clear when there's some injuries. Thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy, signing off.